Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Disneyland. This is the series in which I walk around the recreation of Disneyland in the game of Minecraft and talk a little bit about the real attractions that inspired the recreations. And today we are in Disney's California Adventure and we're taking a look at probably one of the most prominent attractions in California Adventure, definitely the largest and probably the biggest thrill, and that is Disney's California Screamin. Now, Disney's California Screamin, as you can see, very large roller coaster, very awesome roller coaster. Looks like one of those nice old school wooden coasters from yesteryear, thinking of like a boardwalk setting. But the actual roller coaster isn't a wooden coaster, it's a steel coaster. Now, California Screamin is relatively young. It opened in February of 2001. It's one of California Adventure's original attractions, and it's actually the only attraction at the Disneyland Resort to have an inversion. It can reach up to speeds of 55 miles an hour, and that makes it the fastest attraction at the Disneyland Resort. And it also holds the record for being the 8th longest roller coaster in the world, 4th longest roller coaster in the United States, because it is 6,000 feet long. It is a long coaster. It also uses some other pretty nifty tricks. For instance, it uses a linear induction motor at the beginning to launch the train up the first hill. Typically with a roller coaster, you sort of have this chain lift mechanism that sort of slowly pulls it up the hill and then you coast down. This, similar to the system used in Rock and Roller Coaster over in Hollywood Studios in Florida, just launches you out, tries to reach max speed as fast as possible so that it can use that momentum to get you over the hill. And what's really interesting is that if you look at that first hill and a couple of other hills, you'll notice that there's sort of this half-closed tunnel around it, and that actually is a neat trick by the Imagineers to keep within noise restriction guidelines that the attraction needs to adhere to, because Disneyland's California Adventure is technically next to a residential zone, so they need to make sure that the sound isn't as loud as it normally would be. And so by putting that tube there, and you'll always notice that the tube is closed off on the same direction, which is facing outward to the outside of the park, it redirects the sound inwards to keep it sort of located within California Adventure and to keep it a little less noisy for people who live in the area, and yet it still sort of has a cool look that fits in with this design. Now, this coaster used to actually feature two little ears that would go by the inversion to create a Mickey head that was really cool, but in 2008 they removed it because they had put Mickey's face on the Ferris wheel, so now it sort of has this sort of sun icon in the middle. And then perhaps one of the latest changes to the attraction in November of 2010, they took the original safety spiels that they would play before you took off in the ride, and they replaced it with the voice of Neil Patrick Harris, who you might know from How I Met Your Mother, or Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog, or if you're really of the older, Doogie Howser MD. And then the last fact I sort of wanted to throw out there because I thought it was really interesting is that this is one heavy coaster. It took almost 6 million pounds of steel to build this. When you consider that, one, it's a steel coaster instead of a wooden coaster, and two, it is, again, the 4th longest coaster in the United States, that is a lot, and it weighs in at 5.8 million pounds of steel. So definitely not the sort of attraction they're just going to lift up and move anytime soon. So there you have it, just a really quick look at California Screamin. It looks like a really fun thrill ride. Again, never ridden it myself, I haven't been out there yet, but it is definitely one of those attractions I would have to check out if I ever made it out there. It looks like a lot of fun. It has that great boardwalk feel. I love the idea that Disney made a steel coaster. They wanted to use all of the perks and the technological advances of steel coasters, but still put in the effort to theme it to look like a wooden coaster so that it would fit in better with that theming of that sort of boardwalk old school feel to it. That just shows you how dedicated Disney can be to making sure everything looks the way it's supposed to look. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Whatever you do this week, make the most of it because it makes it that much better. If you have any thoughts on attractions you'd like to see me revisit, you can let me know on Twitter. I'm at RobPlays. And if you want to see more of these videos, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, and I have new Disney videos every week. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time for the next episode of Minecraft Disneyland.